I'm here with the weight psych,
Glenn Mackintosh.
yes. And we've been talking about lots of different things throughout a series of videos we've been making on how you can become happier and healthier. And today we are here with another one, which is all about body image. Huge topic.
Body image is one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too, because it's something that is so, it's just everywhere. I mean, it seems like everyone these days has poor body image.
It is pervasive.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I love when psychologists use big words.
We love to use big words.
Trainers, not so much. We're like 3, 2, 1, go. So look, let's get back to that, because it does seem like everybody has poor body image, or so many people these days. Why is that, do you think?
You're so right, Libs. There's what's up. I'm going to use another big word.
Yes, bring it.
Is what psychologists call a normative discontent with your body, which means that we often have to decipher and interpret psychology speak,
of course.
like to turn it
For
into
people
human
like me.
speak. It means that it's normal these days to not like the way you look.
Yeah, wow.
And it's getting worse. And I see in my practice, I see people who are, could be 35 kilos all the way through to people who are 250 kilos.
Wow, big difference.
And it's across the
They're
whole
the same.
spectrum.
Which I think is just amazing. I mean, there's so many reasons that come to my mind. A, we're looking at ourselves and each other so much more on social media.
Yep.
B, it's like, I just feel like it's become this like Chinese whispers, because it's more visible on social and on the web and all this kind of stuff. Suddenly it's seeped into our daily lives too. But are there other reasons you think that that's going on?
It's interesting, Liv, because in psychology, often there are so many factors that affect one thing.
Yeah.
But with body image, you would find few examples of how it is just one thing and a million variations of the one thing, and that one thing is the thin ideal.
Yeah, and your comparison to the thin ideal, I guess.
Exactly. That's what we actually find, is that people who internalize those comparisons more tend to have worse body image, and some people can kind of brush them off a little bit and still have their own sense of what is beautiful and healthy and successful.
Just because they believe that doesn't mean I have to, or that it applies to me.
Exactly. And I think really in this day and age, loving your body is a rebellious act. So it's part of a lot of the work that I do with people, is helping them. I call it, the movie The Matrix?
Yes,
it's like unplugging from the body shame matrix and developing your own sense, because it might, and the matrix is probably not a bad metaphor, because the matrix seems so real. Yes. But the thing I would say to people is that if you getting dressed in the mirror and you think, I look disgusting, or you see a photo of yourself on social media and go, oh my God, I'm so fat.
Compared to those girls next to me, which we all do from time to time. Yep.
Those thoughts, I'm going to say something a bit weird here.
Go on. I love weird.
You don't think that. Those are not your thoughts.
They're just thoughts?
They're thoughts that you've learned from diet culture.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this thin ideal it's so pervasive in our culture, is a diet culture. Yes. And the more work you do in your body image, you'll feel so much better in yourself. But one of the side effects is you will learn how ingrained and how pervasive this diet body shaming culture is. And so the first thing I would say is that those thoughts are not yours. Yeah. You need to unplug from the matrix, the body shame matrix, and then take that time to establish your own standards for what is beautiful for me. What do I see as healthy? What is successful for me? Yeah,
well, that makes a lot of sense, actually, because it is, I think unplugging is actually the perfect way to say it, because, I never would have any doubts about the beauty of my body when I'm just there with my husband who loves me, or my sisters who I have a great time with. But it's when you are, for me it might be I'm out on a commercial job and we're there amidst all these other trainers, a lot of whom are, younger and thinner and fitter, and it's that that going into the matrix,
Yep.
that comparison trap that actually makes you second guess yourself.
Absolutely.
Until you come and unplug.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people would look at you and go, oh, Libby's so fit and healthy and fantastic.
Yeah.
It's silly that she should have those issues.
Yes, but everyone does.
Yep, and you can have, in the same day, you might spend the morning with your husband feeling great about your body, the afternoon with other people and comparing yourself.
Yes.
And that's something that tells us for sure, and I'm going to say something again a bit weird
go
here,
on.
that body image is not about the way you look. It's about
the
what's
way
in
you
your
think.
head.
It's about, oh, that's genius. I love it.
You didn't gain 20 kilograms between the morning and the afternoon.
Nope, did not happen.
The changes happen up here.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And so because obviously this is going on, and I do think it is an issue for almost everyone. It's a rare person who doesn't suffer from body image at some point.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the negative effects of having a poor body image, particularly if it is ongoing?
Yep. I think the biggest effects are psychological. It just takes up so much of your time and your effort and your energy, and it makes you, there's something we call body image avoidance, and it means you don't go into situations that can spark your body image anxiety.
Yes.
And so that might be to the gym.
Yeah, for a lot of people.
Yep. It might be to a party.
Yes.
But for other people, it can be to, I won't apply for the promotion, or I won't seek out jobs because I feel like I'm going to be judged, or even I won't go for that partner. You know, I have clients who
I'm not good enough for them, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're, people deciding that they're not good enough before they even give themselves the opportunity. So it can make your life very small.
And isn't that funny? Because I do think as well, like, we judge ourselves so much more harshly than anyone else would judge us.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's funny, like, we went to Hawaii over Christmas for this beautiful, it was the most extended holiday we've ever had, like 3.5 weeks. Myself and my husband, we had a great time. When we went at the end of that trip to go on a helicopter ride, we had to get weighed. And we hadn't thought about anything the whole time. We'd been, drinking, eating, having a good time. And we got on the scales, and I was roughly the same as at the start of the trip, and Justin had put on like 5 or 6 kilos.
Yeah.
It might have even been more than that. It might have been more like, I don't know, I can't remember. But I remember him being like, what? And honestly, and that affected his mindset for the next few days, because it was like, all of a sudden, but me looking at him, I couldn't tell the difference. And I'm a trainer, and that's,
And that's the thing, that a lot of these things are going on inside your head. But as we talked about, the mind is a super powerful tool. And if it's not being your best friend, it can be your worst enemy.
Yes, definitely.
So that's why this stuff is so important to work on.
Yeah.
But the other thing is too, Liv, there is this feeling, I think, that if I hate my body, or if I judge it, or even if I'm not happy with it, then that becomes motivation to change.
Yes.
And that does sometimes get you in the door.
Yeah.
But if we look at it from a researcher perspective, so psychologists are trained to base our work on research.
Yes.
And, my area is weight management, and body image issues don't help you with your weight. You might avoid exercise, which is a very common thing. Sometimes if you really don't like your body, it pushes you into extreme diets, which only give you the yo-yoing.
Yes.
And we
emotional eating on the other end.
Or emotional eating, absolutely. So I think that's a really important message for people to understand, that body image issues are not going to help you create lifelong healthy habits.
And I think that's really important, because we see on social media sometimes these perhaps I know there's all the thin stuff, but there's also bigger people that have a part of positive body image movements and all that kind of stuff. And then if they lose a little bit of weight and get healthier, people often judge them for doing that, saying, well, why were you saying you had a positive body image before? But I always think that's a horrible thing to do, because you can have an extremely positive body image and still want to improve your body shape or improve your health. Mm-hmm. And so it's fine to have, if you could have the same positive body image when you're 150 kilos as when you're 60.
Yep.
you know, great. I think that's really important to understand. Like, you don't have to be thin to have a positive body image, or you don't have to change to have a positive body image. Having a positive body image will help you change.
Absolutely. And then I think we've got to also then be mindful, the next stage of this is that we don't use body positivity
as a crutch.
And we don't use it as a weight loss tool.
Yes, well, it's exactly the same thing.
The reality is that I think, if you think of us, Lib, this is a weird metaphor. We're getting weird today.
I love it.
If you think of us all like dogs, you know,
okay,
we're not all the pretty little pink poodles.
No.
And so if I'm a Doberman, I'm never going to look like a pretty pink poodle.
Yes.
I'm never going to be as lean. I'm never going to be as small.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, people say, well, Glenn, what sort of weight or shape should I be? I say, if you get body positive and you take great care of yourself, you actually never have to worry. Because if you're a poodle, you take great care of yourself, you'll end up looking like a great poodle. If you're a Doberman or a Mastiff or a Dachshund, and you see it in people's families. You know, people say to me, Glenn, I'm from, you know, all of my sisters are people who live in larger bodies. My mum, my aunties, I have been all my life. So if I get body positive, I'm going to suddenly look like Libby. And we go, no, you want to look like the best, healthiest version of you. And the thing is, you really never have to worry about, if you get really, truly body positive, you never have to worry about what that is, because your job is just to feel great about the skin you're in.
Yes.
To take awesome care of yourself.
Definitely.
And then your body will sort it out.
I love that. And so we've talked about some of the negative effects, being that it doesn't actually help you. To have a negative body image does not actually help you to improve your body shape, if that's what you want to do, or your health. So what are some of the ways that we can, let's start actually a bit before that. How can having a positive body image help you?
Oh, Liam, when people start to get body positive, it changes their whole life. It is like you're sort of riding through life with a handbrake on. And when because there are body weight issues, and then there are body image issues. So your body weight doesn't stop you from doing too much. No. It might stop you if you want to go skydiving.
Yes.
Or, you know, there are certain things that we won't be able to do at a certain weight.
Yes.
But for most people, they're very small.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
There's so much that your body image stops you from doing. And if you let go of that, it really opens you up and takes the shackles off and allows you to live life. It helps you be more social. Yeah. And then it helps your eating and your physical activity balance out. That's why in our program that we do with people, we call it Love Your Body Healthy. So it just makes the whole journey that much easier, because you're taking care of yourself from a place of love.
Yeah, and I think that is really, really important. And sometimes, hate to say it, a little bit harder or a little bit easier said than done.
Oh, no doubt.
So my next question to you is, let's get practical, my favorite thing to do. What is an exercise that people watching at home at the moment can do to help improve their body positivity now, right here, right now?
That's an awesome question, Lib. And I think it is really important that, you know, especially when we're in diet culture sells us the idea that change should be super fast and super easy. And even if we're breaking out of diet culture to make a change, we're going to have some of that left in us that, you know, this should be quick, this should be easy. But the reality is that the best way I've heard it described, Liv, is that body positivity is like learning a new language. So this will take you a very long time, and there are so many facets to your relationship with your body. That
lots of things to work on.
There's a lot to work on. But the good news is it's doable. And the good news is, you know, when people see psychologists, often they worry, it's like, oh, is this going to be absolutely traumatic? And sometimes if we've got to talk about tough stuff, we've got to go there. Yeah. But really what I find, and the work I do with people, is it's just work. Yeah. It's writing tasks, it's thinking tasks, it's little behavioural experiments. So it is actually just work. It's just a bit of effort. Yes. And it's not that hard. So that's good news. Yeah, definitely. So what do we want to do? Okay, I'm going to give you two things. Yes. So we've talked about body image before. Yeah. And we talked about that idea that your thoughts are just thoughts.
Yes, I loved that.
They're not facts. They're not you. We've extended that today by saying it's actually something you've learned through diet culture.
Yes.
So we'll provide a link to that video where we go into that with a bit more detail.
Yeah.
It's a strategy to manage your thoughts, but basically it's noticing that they are just thoughts.
Yeah.
They're not facts. They're not you. You can let them come and go and connect with what really matters.
Yes.
But we've been talking a lot about unplugging.
Yes.
And this is, I think, the most bang for buck strategy that you can do. And it's something I do with pretty much every client who has a body image issue.
Yeah.
In session 1 or 2.
Okay. Cool.
So what I want you to do, I call this a social media declutter.
Ooh, yeah.
So I want you to go through your Facebook, your Snapchat, your Instagram, your email subscriptions, any other ones that I've missed, and I want you to unfollow, unsubscribe, unlike any pictures or any pages or any subscriptions that have thin ideal images in them.
Yep.
And I'm talking about thin ideal images, even if it's got a good health message in there.
Yes, yes.
So if you do this, you're gonna find that you are plugging out of a lot.
Yeah.
Anything that stirs up your comparisons.
Yeah.
Anything that makes you feel a little bit less than. So this is not a cop-out. It's not, now we're...
Pretending this doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what it's doing is acknowledging that it's very hard to develop body positivity when there are so many messages bombarding us all of the time.
Overstimulation.
Yep, absolutely.
Same as when you're at a work desk and you're trying to get a task done, but people keep interrupting you every 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say to my clients who are recovering from eating disorders, typically they're younger people, and I have a conversation with their parents where I say, if they can't unplug from social media, I can't work with them. Because how do you expect me in an hour a week to help provide some positivity when they're looking at these images for 3 hours a day?
Yeah. And that's a really, really important one. And to be completely honest about it, it's something that I had to think about probably about a couple of years ago now, because when I started out as a PT, I looked at what other successful PTs were doing in the industry, and that was, showing workouts or giving positive health messages, but in tiny clothes that showed off their amazing bodies. And so I naturally kind of did the same. It was like everything was pose, but here's a great message. And I found over time, I think it was actually, I was listening to something that you had posted about this uncluttering process, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I am probably contributing to this and not meaning to. And so I purposely took that's enough of that for me. Now I'm going to show pictures of, if I'm talking about going for walks, I'm going to show me on a hike in my rugged clothes that don't necessarily look great, and I'm not going to be there showing off, because it's not about that. But it was a hard thing to acknowledge. And you know what? It took me a long time then to get the same number of interactions on social media, but it was an important thing to do. And if you're not interacting with people who think that it is important, you are important enough for them to put their ego away, it's worth thinking about, unfollow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, Libby, it's so challenging for all of us because we're all victims of this. But in some way, we're all perpetrators.
Yes.
So the good news is that, and this is the sort of secret source of body image work, is that you do it for yourself, but everyone benefits.
Everyone benefits. I think that's true.
Women, your kids, your daughters will benefit. Your partners will benefit. I've got women who I do body positive work with. They might be middle aged, 40, 50, 60 years old, and they're worried about being intimate with their partners in the bedroom, and again it's that what's going on in their head versus reality. And
very different in that situation.
And they're saying to me, "Oh, Glenn, I can't do this because my husband's not attracted to me," and he's like, "No,
I'm attracted to you.
So,
you are hot."
When you boost your own body image and develop a really body positive sense of self and figure it out for you, what it means for you, because I would encourage people to to look into the body positive subculture, and you're going to see all sorts of things. You're going to see health at every size messages.
Yeah.
You're going to see size diversity. You're going to see fat acceptance, and you don't have to necessarily take that on board blindly. I always recommend people, when they declutter, to start to follow. If you just hashtag or Google body positive, size diversity, health at every size, intuitive eating, you'll find a subculture that's growing of people. I call them weirdos because it's normal to not like your body. I'm trying to help create a subculture of weirdos.
Yeah, great. I love the word weird. Weird's good.
Yeah, weird's good.
Yeah.
You know, it's the diversity of all of our shapes and sizes.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And even for yourself, guys, if you yourself are trying to post these perfect pictures, you know, I found personally from my own experience, when I stopped doing that, I actually stopped comparing myself as much, because all of a sudden I didn't have to look as good as those other trainers or influencers because I wasn't doing what they were doing. I was just posting. I wasn't retouching my photos. I wasn't having to look good or doing my hair or wearing skimpy clothes. I was just doing my thing, and whoever followed and got something valuable out of that, then awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, you will have worries about doing that. You know,
yes,
becoming body positive comes with a lot of fears. But you know, Lib, you're my favourite PT down here in Sydney.
Shucks.
Lindy Cohen's my favourite dietitian, and she does a similar thing. A while ago, she decided that all of her images will be Photoshop free.
Yeah,
and
it's important.
Then you just have to get better at
giving good content.
Exactly.
And also then it becomes not about you, but about the people you're serving and that you're providing value to. And I think that in itself creates a positivity about who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think body positivity is closely linked to positivity about yourself and who you are and what your values are. So
absolutely.
Cool. Okay, well that was a good rundown, and as Glenn said, we did do another chat in a bit more depth purely about tactics and ways that you can, or things you can use to actually little tricks you can use to get more body positive. So definitely check out that video. But awesome, I love that chat. Thank you so much, Glenn.
Yeah, it's total pleasure.
Yeah.
Unplug from the matrix, develop your own body standards, and just go on the journey.
Yeah, and just for the record, I think you're bloody beautiful.
Oh, Liv, you're beautiful too. And we think you're beautiful out there also.
Ditto. Have a good one too.